How's it going, guys? So, I hope you can see this alright. It's been hard to get this sort of filmed properly with my current equipment. You might see some shadows and stuff, but I'm trying to get a good balance between bright enough to film, but dark enough to show you what this looks like. That's been a little tricky. So, a while back I unboxed a K70 LUX from Corsair, and here it is. So, the K70 LUX from Corsair is basically what you see here. I've got a neat little pattern set up on there. It's called Rain. And we also have, I'll be showing you sort of around this product as well as the features and settings inside the utility that comes with it, which is Corsair's CUE. So yeah, if you see what I've got up on the screen right now, I'll sort of picture this, but we've got the keyboard doing its little dance, and we also have the keyboard doing its little dance on the utility. So really, it's kind of neat, and I mean, if you go to like a lot of LAN parties or you just like looking at cool stuff, this is pretty neat. So let me go in. We can look at the lighting effects. So I can sort of change this. I can do like a color shift. You know, see, I can change that to run through random colors, or I can say alternate between like say red and blue or what have you, and I can crank it up to real fast or like real slow. So that's kind of cool. We can also do like color wave, like woo, and we can go real fast or like super slow. So that's kind of cool. Like once again, we can alternate between styles. You can also just go with a static color if that's what you want. I'll pick like purple. Yeah, we'll go purple. And static colors on, save. So here we are. We can sort of set these colors. Like I can set this to maybe green. Come on, little guy, do your thing. Don't be shy. So you can see we can sort of set this to a static color. I'm trying to get it to actually do... There it is, apply color. So what we can do here is we can also like tick the box and apply a color. So maybe I want yellow, maybe I want red, right? Or what I can do here is I can go like this, right? Save. And then I can add a lighting effect and do this. Save. Okay. So there's you a spiral rainbow. Look at that. Isn't that spectacular? But what we can also do is we can do a static color, right? And the second color I'm going to do this side of the keyboard. Hold up. There we go. Oh, look at that. So you can actually personalize, maybe I even untick that. So you can personalize these colors. So I'll do blue, hit apply. Then you can do that, and then like maybe you want a third one. So we'll save that. We can go in here and make spiral rainbow just on the enter key. So we just do, let's see here. Okay, it looks like all keys are the only option for spiral rainbow. Interesting. I thought that was like something I could turn down, but okay, well, we'll call it pulse maybe? Yeah, let's do this. You can make some real crazy stuff with this. But if I go and make another static color and I select just that key, make it like green or something. Yeah, see, you can see that it's now green. You can probably see that hopefully on the recording. You can kind of see that it's very hard to get a good idea of this. Let me turn off some lights. Hopefully we can still get a good picture. But you can kind of see that enter key is actually sort of a different color. And really, this really doesn't do it justice because it looks like the colors are super vibrant, actually. And I was afraid because of the individual keying that, you know, some of the keys would be a little bit wonky, but it's not so bad. So I will say that I'm going to give some marks down in this review for usability. You probably notice, even with me, even though I've done this a few times, I really struggle with even figuring out how the heck to get this stuff to show up in a meaningful way. But now you can see I've sort of made all these keys up here that color. I can sort of, I don't know, control, highlight those three. So you can do as many sort of static colors as you want to just sort of personalize this whole thing any old way you want. And you can't really personalize these up here, unfortunately. You can't do, these two keys are always going to be this light and shop. Those are always going to be the same color, unfortunately. But the rest of the keyboard's pretty much fair game, including these media keys over here, which is pretty cool. I actually really like the volume rocker here. It's it feels really nice. It's actually very smooth. And the interesting part is when you hit the mute button, if you want to just unmute real quick, you just rotate the volume rocker and it starts again. So that's really neat. Overall, the key set feels really good, and I would kind of expect that at this price. I mean, we're talking, I think the last time I looked at a retail copy of this, it was probably about $170. So the K70 LUX is pretty high on the list. So I guess the initial thing was that I just wanted to get out of the way like all of the color parts of this and whatnot. So that being said, I'm just going to throw this all back to a single color. I'm going to go like blue. That's not blue. This is blue. Okay. So I'm just going to throw this back to a single color real quick just to kind of get a little bit, get you a better idea of actually how the keyboard works itself. I mean, it is a keyboard, so you expect it to type well. And it does. I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of I'll pop open Notepad real quick. I'm not a huge fan of red switches. It's just my preference. I like brown switches better because I get that little tactile bump, but without the clickiness of blues. This has cherry reds in my version, and if you refer to the previous unboxing video, I talk about that a little more. But overall, the key action feels good. I'm not a huge fan of this textured spacebar. The spacebar has sort of a diamond plate texture, and I sort of talked about that in the unboxing video. But it's not so bad. I'm also not a fan of wrist rests. Don't care, don't need them. I type sort of up, so I don't rest my palms on this or anything. So it's not really much of a concern for me. But I'll show you a little bit now that I have the light on. These keys, they feel really They don't feel bad, but I don't like the hollowness of this keyboard. If I was going to use this every day, I'd probably recommend that you do something and get the dampers. If you're aware of, if you've seen them, there's just some rubber O-rings. But I would definitely get dampers for this keyboard. It's a little bit hollow sounding, and as opposed to, like, say, you can probably see just out of focus here. Let me move this down. My keyboard that I use every day, this has got brown switches on it, and it also has the O-ring dampers in it. So that sort of gives you an idea, like, gives you an idea of how hollow sounding this keyboard is. That being said, it's not cheap. Cheaply made, that is. It's definitely not cheap either, but it's not cheaply made, and it feels really hefty. Although I will admit that this wrist rest is it's cheap plastic, let's be honest. Everything else about this keyboard's quite nice, and personally I don't like the red switches, and this is a bit much for me. I feel like you get a lot for your money, but I also feel like, it's hard to really quantify spending that kind of money just for what I think is kind of a gimmick in my opinion. But I think I probably safely give this keyboard 4 stars. It works really well as a keyboard. The price is really killing it for me, and that's about it as far as that's concerned. It's definitely a good keyboard. It looks like it'll hold up really well. I hope it doesn't keel over like the K50 that I used for a while. They sent me a K50 a while back, and it died pretty immediately after I got it. So let's hope that was sort of back in the day. That was a rubber dome keyboard, so it wasn't a fancy mechanical keyboard or anything like that. So we're gonna hope that your $170 or however much you end up getting one of these for goes to a good place, if you will. And I think that's about it, really. I'm actually going to be giving this away as well. If you saw the previous video that I put up for my Deep Cool 120EX Captain water cooler, that one was up for grabs for a while, and I'll be putting in the description of the video maybe a little text over the screen here at this point, just to congratulate the user who is getting sent home with that. And yeah, so this is going to be the same sort of deal. I'm going to have a form in the description below. We're going to have a time window. I think at this point this video is probably going to come out around the 2nd of January, and so the 2nd of January will be when it starts, and then we'll give you a week after that. So let's see here, that'll be on, gotta pull up my calendar. So 2nd of January, we'll give you to the following Tuesday, or Monday rather. So 2nd of January will be Monday, and then the 9th will be the following Monday. So we'll give you till the 9th to get your form submitted. It's in the description below, and we'll get this sent out to one lucky viewer. This is sort of my way of saying thanks to watching my reviews. I know that sometimes they're not that good, and I stumble over my words a lot, so I try to be as helpful as possible, and I hope that's beneficial. I'm working hard on it. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll get better as time goes on, who knows. But this is my way of saying thanks. I'm sent these products to review, and then I'm allowed to keep them. That's sort of my compensation, and sometimes I don't really need them, want them, use them. So instead of just selling them on eBay or whatever, I like to give back to people who appreciate these videos, I suppose. So again, thanks for watching. Have fun putting in your information in that Google form. It'll just be your email address, and I think I'll just put your name on there. If you want to put your name in, that's fine. If you don't want to actually reveal your real name, that's cool too. You can throw your YouTube username in there, something like that. But yeah, so we'll get someone sent home with this, and thanks for watching. Like I said, this is 4 stars. 4 stars from me. Not perfect because of the price, but the keyboard is great. And if I liked red switches, I would totally be rocking this, but it's a little bit expensive for what you get. And mine actually has a tiny high-pitched whine under certain settings, but I think I don't know that most people can hear that. So anyway, if it shows up when you get it, you might want to work with me and work with Corsair, and we'll see if we can get it replaced. But it doesn't seem to happen all the time, so it may be just me. But thanks for watching, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe to the channel to see more stuff like this, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to pressure you though. And stay tuned for more videos.